Yo people, it's your boy Father G. You're now watching the ParentCast. I'm joined by Emmanuel, Turkish Delight, and E Minor. Today we're gonna talk about the first topic. Is everyone alright first?
I'm fantastic.
Everyone alright, yeah?
Yeah, are you alright?
I'm a bit hot, you know. But the windows are open. I'm good.
No problem.
I'm not gonna lie, I can iron my shirt underneath still, lazy mode still. Sorry.
Life of a parent.
Exactly. Life of a parent. I did not have the time to iron my top. I only had time to iron the trousers and kind of the jumper. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, moving on to the first topic. This topic is kind of from my own personal opinion, or point of view, should we say. The first question would be, do you feel that fathers have the choice when they want to be a parent?
No.
Why? What follow up with that? No, and why?
No, because you're a parent. You know, you gave birth. No, you didn't give birth. Sorry, but you know,
You didn't give birth to nothing.
you didn't give birth, but you know, you created a child with the lady. So obviously, you're a parent from when the baby's in the womb. You know, no, but it's true because obviously you have to
the truth.
be there and you know have
You
to
gotta go for it. We more go for it mentally more
Okay.
than physically and mentally, yeah, and emotionally.
We do go for it physically as well because you know we. No, it's 100% true because fathers, when your missus or when you know the mother of your child is pregnant and you're together, should we say, do you eat more than you did before?
Me? No.
You didn't eat.
I just eat all the time. I don't really keep.
Oh well, it must just be me then because parents, if you look at it, no, statistically, no, 100%.
You're coming with a different angle. I said, did you eat more?
No, statistically, a father would eat as much as the mother would eat. Yeah, 100%. I don't know if that was
the case,
but that was.
With the case of my last child, I would have been eating a hell of a lot.
You know, there's other elements as well to it. But anyway, I'm going off topic at the moment. That's a different subject. But yeah, from birth. From birth, though, you know, you're a parent. You can't pick and choose when you want to be a parent. Why did you have a child? Why do you think that you know you're up for it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But I'm saying, like, so say for instance, like we were talking in the last episode about Christmas, the kind of same role there, like, oh, you want to collect your child, or you're not there, you're there but you're not there, so every 2 weeks you show up, you have your kid, and then the mother of your child turns around and says, oh, do you think you can pick and choose when you want to be a father?
But that's a different scenario though.
Not really.
Because it's different because of the fact that if I'm saying that I want to see my child Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe not that week, then that's picking and choosing.
But to her, she might turn around and say, oh, but I don't get to pick and choose. I'm their mum. Monday, Friday, all the way. You get me? 7 days a week, 365.
Yeah, but then if in all honesty, if she wanted to, she could by all means just dump the child to the father. But in all honesty,
but how? If you just said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
No, hear me out. Okay, so what I'm saying is, so if by going on by what you just said, with the mum saying that, oh, I don't get to pick and choose, you know. But all honesty, if a mother would like to, she can just throw the child onto you, yeah, bear in mind, and reverse the role. But mothers don't do that because obviously they feel more connected with the child from carrying the child for 9 months. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like
yeah, definitely understand.
They're more enticed with the child. Does that make sense? So that's the reason why they are reluctant to say, do you know what? Have the child. Have the child for that long. I don't care. Let me live my life free life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So going back now, I feel like it's wrong. I feel like it's wrong. Yeah, I feel like it's wrong for a father to pick and choose from when the child is born, your father, and it just has to be constant communication for a father to be a father to the child, despite the madness that's going on between the mum and yourself. Do you know what I mean? As long as you're doing your part to try and be a father, then you're not picking and choosing to be a father.
It's that
know?
phrase, you're picking and choosing, and I think a lot of the time women, we can feel like a man is picking and choosing when he wants to be a father.
And that's
But
why I
what
came
we
up
mean,
with the question.
I think a lot of the time what we mean is when I haven't said that, maybe I did in the first year, but like I think what that comes from is the feeling that we are constant, even when the baby's not with us, we're still like
Thinking
very
about
much
the child.
in mum mode from the time that we get pregnant. And I think for men, because like stereotypically the men are like the second parent, mum's number one, right?
Mhm.
And
That's how I personally see it.
when, especially in the
Number one.
earlier stages, the baby is reliant on you in terms of if they're on breast or whatever, and it's like when the mum doesn't get any respite and they know that the dad can not pick and choose, but pick and choose when they're present, not pick and choose when they're a dad, because I'm sure that even when the dads are, you know, not with the child, there's, do you know what I mean? They're still.
That's what I'm getting at. That you're still thinking about them mentally,
Yeah.
everything. Like, from my personal opinion, I feel like we are fathers away when we're away from our children, when we wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Because, as I said, I've changed my life around. A lot of my decisions are the reason why I can turn around and say to people, I am a father. I haven't done this because I'm a father. I have kids. Do you get what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, my decisions are all made solemnly on the fact that I am a father. I can't do anything freely for the people that are the same age as me. They just go out there thinking later after they've done the situation.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Exactly. There was a really like poignant moment for me being a parent where I was arguing with my son's dad, and he turned around and he was like, look, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't have a book that tells me what I should and shouldn't do. I'm learning. Like, I didn't have the hormones or whatever that you got kicked into you or whatever. And I was like,
Definitely not.
rah. And he was like, I'm still learning. And I thought, rah. And he's like a big man. Like, he's not flipping 25. And I actually took back, and that kind of made me soften a lot of my frustration or anger towards him, because I was like, rah, you're actually telling me that you are vulnerable. Not vulnerable, but like me, as soon as I got pregnant, I just had this like surge of, I don't know what it was, but it kicked me into mum mode. But the guy probably, he didn't get that. So
You don't get it until the baby's there, like, in the flesh sometimes. Depends on it. What's your opinion on that, Sev?
Well, I agree with like, kind of a bit of what everyone has to say. In the sense of, I think, in a way, a man generally can pick and choose when he wants to not necessarily be a father, because you're always going to be a father. Once you're a father, you're a father, but he can always pick and choose when he wants to. And the reason I say this, I'll give an example now. If you decided that you wanted to go on holiday next weekend, and yeah, right, so you decided you want to go on holiday next weekend, you could, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I wanted to go on holiday next weekend, I couldn't. I would have to make sure that my son has childcare, either he's with his dad or somebody, you know, I trust, whatnot. So that's where I feel sometimes, unless you are a full-time dad, I can see why sometimes women will throw that around. I don't think it's an excuse though anyway to use it against a man, but I feel that's why that comes into it. Because you don't live with the child 24/7 and the woman does, it kind of can be seen as you can pick and choose and still live your life, where I can't. I have to make sure everything I do revolves around my child. So that's why I do think, I think men can pick and choose actually. Compared to women, men can pick and choose. Unless you are a full-time dad and the mum is not involved at all.
And it's more acceptable because we both could, because we have a structure now, my son's dad and I, so what day he picks him up, what day I drop him, etc. And that works, you know. But there's times where he will say to me, oh, I'm not going to be around this day. Like recently, I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but the day before I was supposed to drop him, he calls me and he was like, hey, you're right. And I was like, hey, you're right. Okay, talk to me. What's up? Like, let's just get to it. Oh, I'm not going to be able to have him tomorrow because I'm going away. I've got some work. Okay, so can I drop him to someone else? Where are you going? America. Oh, how long are you going? Oh, I don't really know, but like 2 weeks. Okay, but like you're telling me the day before, like, you know that I work, you know that I have the business, you know that I have music, like, you know, what do? I can't do anything because he chose to go to America to pursue what he was doing. I can't do anything. However, if that was the other way round, and on the day that he's supposed to return him home, I said, oh, sorry, I'm going to LA. I'm a bad mom. Oh my God, how dare you? What kind of a mother are you? This is your child, do you know what I mean? But the other way round, we're just expected to go, okay, and just deal with it. So in that sense, yeah, men, it's more acceptable for them to pick and choose, although we both have the ability to pick and choose.
So instead of saying pick and choose when they want to be a father, when they want to be present, would you say? Yeah, like play their role.
Yeah, because you're always a father, you can't take that over. You know, when some people say, oh, pick and choose to be a father, sorry ladies, you know, I love my ladies, but it's a bit childish because it's not picking and choosing to be a father. You're always going to be a father. You're you know, your title, as long as you're obviously active though, because I do think you've got two different types, but that's another story anyway. But you've got different types of fathers, and I think if you're an active father, then it doesn't matter whether you're sometimes present or not, you are still a father.
And a lot of men don't have the choice when they're picking and choosing. A lot of men, their mum, the mother of their child, gives them one choice, but then will still throw that out. Oh, you want to pick and choose, but it's like, oh, hold on, how easy did you make it for him to have the choice to be a father?
Yeah,
like,
definitely. You know, there's no, it has to be even. There's no there. No, I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect because I'm not perfect. Like the examples that you were saying, there is times when events or holidays with my friends or whatever come up, and I do just boom, just drop it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
What, last minute?
Not last minute. What do you call last minute? Like 2 weeks?
No, that's fine. Oh God, that's
2 weeks. I'll never do the day before. I'm not that guy still.
If it's less than 24 hours, then it's last minute.
Yeah,
exactly. Cool. That's
especially when you work and you've got contracts that you have to adhere to, but you can't now because you've left me with no childcare. And my mum was back in hospital at that time.
Yeah,
like my mum's got a heart condition, and I was like, "Are you for real? You're doing this to me?" Like,
then you just like exactly trying to stubble your growth. And that's why I thought that would be a good question to ask, because obviously we're all single parents, right? We was talking about this last time. So in people in a relationship, I was talking to the person I actually spoke to about they are in a relationship, and they said that they still have the same problem. Do you get what I mean? They live in the same household, they're there together, they both go to work, the child is in nursery, they pay for private nursery. But when it comes to decision making, like, oh, I'm going out this weekend, or I'm going away with the boys, that always gets thrown at him all the time. Oh, you feel like you could just do what you want and drop everything, but they live in the same house. That's where we're all distant, we live separate lives. Do you get what I mean? From the other person in it. It's just weird to hear that someone in a relationship and you're still together raising this child. Yeah, you still feel it. So that's why I thought, right, let me put it out to you guys to see what you guys' opinion is.
yeah.
Because it is a soft one. You can have lots of different opinions on it, but the main one is if you're present, you're present. If you're not,
You're not. And it all comes down to communication, because what I keep screaming to my son's dad is that I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you want to go for a year. Like, if you let me know so that I can pattern everything so that I'm not losing out on income, which means that your son ultimately is losing out on whatever it is, then that's the problem. The problem is not you wanting to do what you're doing. The problem is that you're affecting me doing what I am doing. So if people can communicate, even people that live in the same house, like, just give the heads up and whatnot, and then there's no issue.
My friend, he's the lastminute.com still.
It's your own. Yeah.
So yeah, that's everyone's opinion on the first question. I think that one was a bit of a tough one, because as I said, you could wait up on the side of, well, he's a dad, he's there on his scheduled days that he's meant to come and get them. But then when he goes to do, as Iman has said, holidays, adventures or whatever, and it messes up that mother's structure, it then can become, well, you feel like you can pick and choose. But then on our behalf, as a father, it's a kind of thing as I provide. Yeah, I'm there for my child. Why can I not do this? Yeah, I'm just saying. You look at me kind of serious there. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just listening. No,
I'm saying my opinion. I'm just saying
that's
my
fine.
opinion.
No, I'm just listening.
Oh, you've stopped me in my stride. But yeah. So we round this one off here. From a father's point of view, I feel like I provide. I'm there for my kids. Yeah, I communicate. Or I think I communicate well with the mother of my child, and I feel like there's other fathers out there that still get that statement they're thrown at them. Do you feel you can pick and choose? And now that I've heard everyone's point of view, especially the mother's point of view, I do feel like, yeah, I could compromise a little bit more when I'm trying to book holidays or I want to change plans. I may have to think in the back of my head, so what about, not even may, that's so rude. I will have to think about whether or not that's going to affect the mother of my child or not, or if that's going to have an overall effect on the organisation, whatever way you want to put it. Boy, Father G.
Emmanuel.
Turkish Delight Sev.
E minor.
And we'll be back. Yes, people, we are back, and this time we're going to start off with the second topic. Well, I'm not going to start off the second topic. I'm going to leave it over to E minor.
Yes, let's get into it. So the next topic is there a right time, and if so, when would be the right time to get a third party involved in the parenting, i.e. mediation, court, dun dun dun.
The scary one. I.e. the court. Okay, I thought you were going to say CSA as well. That's another one.
CSA?
Yeah. That's the demon.
See?
That's the demon in disguise.
That's
yeah?
the kind of baby mama I am. Didn't even think of it.
That's what I like to hear. You don't want to, that one. I'll start this one off. Yeah, I'll start this one off because that one there, CSA, out of all of those options that you said, is the worst one because. Okay, for instance, one of my friends, he pays CSA. He's been there for his child his whole life. The mother of his child isn't a very strong, independent. She's had a lot of opportunities and let herself go, yeah? And she's been leaning on him for years, and as soon as he tried to build himself as a person, CSA, phone call, to a point he's moved out of ends and his money has gone up, yeah? Because she told them, oh yeah, he's not having him every weekend anymore, yeah? Stuff like that. Yeah, I do not agree with third party. I've tried to do it myself for my own personal reasons, like court for custody. So I wanted to go through the procedure again. For a father, it costs an arm and a leg to fight any mother, especially where we was talking about the last subject. You guys are the dominant. Yeah, that subject there is just mad. I do not agree with it at all. If you do feel like raw, that's the only option. Just make sure you're stacking beforehand before you go and approach the solicitor, lawyer, whoever, because the courts, they will eat you alive, yeah? They want you to prove everything. How you provide for them, what's your income, what's your household living like. Like, it's a madness. With a mum, it's just, correct me if I'm wrong, with a mum, it's just, you've been there for the child from they was born. Like, why do you feel that you should have rights over the father? That's
okay, so you're saying that you don't agree with third party, but if a father is not contributing to their child and you've tried to set up arrangements and the father is not meeting the arrangements and the father is questioning how you're spending the money, then I definitely think CSA is the answer.
I don't agree because what you saying? If he doesn't, so when he has his child, he's not providing for his child either. He's not buying nothing for his child. Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying that he's not helping you directly?
It doesn't matter about directly helping me or not. If you are contributing towards anything that I'm paying for, then you are contributing to your son. It's not money for me.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When he, so say for instance, when the child is with the father, that's what I'm saying. Are they going, again, and he needs clothes, he needs shoes. So when he goes with the child and he brings the child back and he comes with the clothes and the shoes.
Okay, but what if the clothes and shoes are staying at their house?
Like my baby father.
I'm not gonna lie, I play that card sometimes.
Why? It's so pathetic.
how.
But it depends. It depends on what it is, though. If it's an everyday, if it's
contributing, and dad's not contributing. Dad's
How?
only contributing in his household only. So what about all the other days in the whole week that the child is with the mother?
How about that?
And let me explain my bit, yeah? There's certain things that stay at my house that I buy. And there's certain things, everyday things, i.e. I do shopping every month, yeah? Their school uniform, yeah? Or a toy that they've got and they've got more than that at my house so they can take it home.
Reasonable.
Or it's like, you get me? But there's certain things...
Sorry, Father G. I feel like you're still missing my point, though. The point I said is, if the guy is not contributing any money at all...
You can't go to a court because it's like...
No, does it say court as a CSA?
Yeah, well, you
Take
can't
it
go...
to CSA.
But
what's wrong with that?
That's like... I don't know, I just don't believe in it. I don't feel like... I know that a father should always provide for their children. If they're not, obviously the mother could be struggling, or she's sacrificing things that she wants to do or places that she wants to go for her child, or replacing the fact that the father isn't helping. But I just feel like some fathers, they need time. Do you get what I mean? They need time to find themselves. They need time to understand the relationship. Now, say the child's 4 years old, yeah, and he's still not providing, yeah. It's like, the child is not at a level yet where they're consuming a lot of things. Like,
in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion. When they start going to primary school, they're in secondary school, yeah, that's when the times where the pressure gets onto the mother, and I feel like that is then the correct time to approach CSA and ask for further action. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah,
when the child is from 1 to 4, yeah, the child is still... Like, if you don't send them to private nursery, you're catering for the child every day, like, you don't work, etc.
Yeah, but what if you are sending them to nursery?
Yeah, what if you're paying £400 a month and he's not helping a penny towards that £400 a month?
Okay, what I was going to say is, don't take it to offence, yeah? But you should have picked your baby father better than that.
Yeah, I know, it's true. That's ultimately, but however, when you're in that situation...
Because you've got to think, when you look, like, how my mum says it to me, yeah, after I had my first child, you've always got to look at your partner or the next person you be with as the mother of your child, yeah? You can't look at them when they're pregnant and say, oh, I wonder what she's going to be like as a mother of my child. When you meet them, you must be under the impression that, oh, this guy's not serious. Do you get what I mean?
But do you know what, yeah? I've always said this, that as soon as a child is here, parents act different. So you could always look at someone and be like, oh, yeah, do you know what? The way how you're acting, I think you're going to be the mother of my child. But then when the baby is here, it's a different thing again. Hence the reason of this mad CSA and whatnot that's involved. Do you know what I mean?
But don't you think that's more a personal thing? When a man,
yes.
Like, okay, why I said that last example is because when you're with them, yeah, you will know, if I have a baby right now, is this gonna mess up my whole relationship? Is he then gonna turn around and be distant? Is he then gonna turn around and try to find any excuse not to be with me, to drop the responsibility? Yeah. When, as you said, once you've had the child, the person changes. Yeah. When you've had the child, that is then your time to say, alright, cool, we're not together. He's walked away. Let me see how it goes on. You can't just go, okay, the child's here. 9 months has gone past. I need help. Let me contact CSA. You're not giving him the chance to, because you don't know if he's found himself yet.
But what if he's got 3 Mercedes and everything he wears is Balmain? Everything.
Then he's a joke man. That's my opinion. He's a joke man because you can't be stunting and you've got a kid out here. No matter what the baby mum is, but I'm just saying that some people take longer to come to terms with the fact, the whole responsibility, being able to provide a stable income, and when you're in a relationship with them beforehand, yeah, when you're having sexual contact, etc., in the back of your head, don't you think like, so he don't really take me out that much, like, oh, yeah, he's always wearing the same clothes, or I've seen him in an outfit like 3 or 5 times. You might think, okay, so he might not be financially ready to have a child, yeah? So he may have a 9 to 5, yeah? Or he may work full time, and then you go and, that CSA, go and take that money out of his wage every month, you might be stumbling in his growth, yeah? Because when that child's 4, that child's 4, yeah? When that child's 4 years of age, okay, the gap is kind of long, but I'm just saying as a rough estimate, yeah? 4 years of age, he could have found himself, he could have been successful, but oh, he has no excuse after 4 years. Do you get what I mean? If you've got 4 years to sort your life out.
Telling me I'm not saying anyway I'm in that situation because, you know, I'm one of the blessed ones. I haven't had issues actually financially. I've always had a supportive, you know, my son's dad is very supportive.
Yeah, big him up.
Good on you.
Yeah, I can't. Like, he's always given me money and always provided, always sent stuff home. You know, maybe there's been a few ups and downs, but generally he's always provided. However, I'm just talking for the other percentage of people that are out there that maybe are struggling in the sense of that they are trying to set up arrangements, you know, and the father of their child or whatnot doesn't want to contribute nothing at all, and then they go to CSA. And to be fair, like, all right, I haven't had to go through that, but I don't wrong them for doing that, because if it takes two people to make a child, at the end of the day, regardless of whatever the situation is, a guy, woman, whatever, you're both responsible. So if you don't want to contribute and all you want to do is ask questions about why are you using this money for this, it's none of your business. As long as the mother of your child is happy, she's got to have that child 24/7, every single day. So even all that nitpicking, and then taking the money away and giving it back, taking it away, when it starts getting like that, I don't blame women for going down the route or going to CSA, because I feel responsibility-wise, a man should
always provide.
Always.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. That's why I have the father of, the father of my son. I do, because I've picked properly. But let's be honest, we don't live in an ideal world. I picked properly,
Not everybody did.
Not everybody does.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a bit, I think, to turn around and say, oh, you should have picked properly and whatnot, I just feel like, let's just look at it, take away all that stuff, let's look at it. If a man is not providing for his child, take him to CSA.
Yeah. I think for me, right, I when I had my child, I'd come from a period of time where I had a lot of money, like in my late teen years, and I had my savings and whatnot. I had my child at 22, and my son's dad's a lot older than me. So I had my money in order for the life that I was living there and then, not for the life that meant I had another child. I had to pay however much for the buggy and and all the things, and every single day costs whatever. Now, for me, I've never received a penny from my son's dad. Like, I've never given him a receipt and said, this shop was £77, can you give me something towards it? We've never done that. I've done it, everything I've bought. And then when he started having him regularly, he would buy, in the beginning I would send nappies and all the food that he needed and whatever. And then my friend said, Emily, you're mad. Stop it. Like, so then I stopped. But there was a time, remember when we were speaking about when his lack of communication meant that he was messing with my income because I couldn't work,
Then you had to start saying, listen, you need to pull your weight if you want to be effing up my things.
What I said to him was, if you're going to cost me days of work, which means that my wage packet at the end of the week is less than it should be, then you need to reimburse me, or you need to give me a day the following week that you can allow me to make that time up. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So,
compromise.
That wouldn't happen. That was a problem. That was, what do you need money for? One time he said to me, are you a waste girl? Like, you don't have money. And I thought,
in your situation, or anyone else's situation that's watching, where it's an older man, you see where before I said you're stubborn, like you have to wait for the person to grow, like you face up to the responsibility. When you've been in this world longer than the other person, you should already have that sense. Yeah. That where you were saying, Seb, earlier, that if they ain't providing, if they ain't helping, then you should call CSA. In that situation there, it will be more likely, I would say, call CSA, because that person is older than you. They should be setting an example no matter what. Do you get what I mean? Because when your child gets to an age where they understand the age difference, they just understand life more, and you turn around and say, oh yeah, you know that your dad's da-da-da-da-da, and then he works out that you're way older than him, but he knows you solemnly as the provider. He's got to then have a mad I would have a mad judgment of my dad that, wow, you was older than my mum and you made my mum suffer like that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But I'm just speaking from with that example there, I'm talking from a young person's like point of view. Because when I had my child, I was 17. My 18th birthday was like literally the month after my first son. So it's like I had to wise up. I had to find a stable income, which is, again, at 17, what is a stable income?
Yeah.
apart from a
sacrifice.
retail job. You get me? So I
Yeah.
had to sacrifice things. I still did provide from the get go. I found a way to provide. Yeah, but I'm just saying that there's been friends of mine that were having kids around the same age, and they needed that time to find themselves before they could solidly provide. They were still, it's in the schisms like little nappies there, formula there, but when it came to like strongly to provide it every week or every month, they couldn't do it because in themselves.
You can't sometimes.
Exactly, but then
you haven't got the money. You know?
Exactly, but this is what I'm saying. So you can't then just like. But then if the mum is in the same predicament, you've got two people that I've got a strong income, and then she turns around and goes, you know what? I've been asking him for help because I see he went out to a dinner with his friends the other day. Yeah, and she goes, oh, I'm gonna call CSA. You're gonna start eating his money to a point where he can't even do those things. He can't even grow.
Yeah.
He's not gonna think straight.
For me,
he's not gonna get stressed. Like
I never
it's
went
a
to
two-sided
CSA
thing.
because of that. Because number one, people get money in different ways or whatever, and I don't want people delving into his life or messing up his money because that ultimately messes up my son.
Exactly.
So whatever he's doing, whatever money he has got, I don't care about that. But I just wanted him to do the right thing. But there was one time when I said to him, look, I'm struggling now. Mum's in hospital. I don't have anyone to look after him. You're messing with my money. I need you to make it up or reimburse me. And he was giving me aggro. And I called CSA just to inquire like what the process was. And after, I think I was on the phone to the woman. I was just crying on the phone to the woman, like, I don't know what to do. And she was like, right. And then I just hung up the phone and I said, I'm not doing it because of that. I don't want to. She's talking about what's it called, tax evasions and we'll investigate, and I was like
and a lot of people can dodge CSA, and this is what people
Easily.
don't understand. People can dodge CSA.
Easily.
Not if you've got.
No, this is what I'm
You've got a
saying.
legit job though.
Okay, let me just say
You can
say
hide
like
your
this.
money.
There's
You
certain
can hide your
there's certain people that I know out here that have got legit 9-to-5 jobs. They may do other things on the side, but they got legit 9-to-5 jobs.
And they hide their money.
And they hide their money to a point where CSA are coming back to the parent and saying that they earn pennies.
Nil. It comes back and they'll say nil.
And this is why I'm saying that again. It could stop someone's growth, but at the same time, it's not useful. Like why are you gonna call CSA?
On the flip side, what about the men that aren't given access to their child, and then they, you know, we're talking about it's so expensive to take a woman to court or to take someone to court.
Yeah.
But what about those men that aren't given what they should be, but they're left in that position where they don't have the funds to take their mum to court?
That was a hard one, you know.
So if a guy doesn't have the fund to take the parent to court or whatnot, I don't know if they still do it, but there is legal aid that could help out parents who don't have significant money to support them, sort of thing. Or there is a legal aid who would help out. I would suggest, you know, since we're on the court topic, is to avoid court whatsoever. Been there, done it. It's long.
What, I mean, you was the one that pulled it up, or she did?
I took her to court.
You're good.
Yeah, only because she didn't allow me to see my kids.
Oh, okay.
So I took her to court so then I can have access to my kids.
Yeah.
The whole process was long, over a year that we had to go court for, long. So avoid going court, I would say, for the person that don't have the money, is to try and communicate more. Before you go court anyway, you have to go mediation, you know, and if mediation don't work, then you go court. And in mediation, you still have to pay the person if it is an independent mediator to do your session. So there's still money there as well. I would say just try and speak to the mother to try and gain access, or at times just leave it.
Yeah.
Just
leave it and see how
just
it
leave
turns
it.
out.
Yeah, that's because at the end of the day, the mum will contact you for support, no matter how bad the situation is. A mother will always contact.
It gets to a point where she had enough. She's like,
Yeah,
listen,
so
yo, where your daddy
and
there?
then that's- and
But
then that's
if you
when
do that,
go
guys,
through.
make sure that you get a little box and put little things in there so that you can show the child that you were thinking
all-
of them
What do you
and that
mean?
you didn't just leave it.
So basically
Because-
receipts.
Oh,
Receipts,
okay.
Yeah.
Get your
basically
receipts, because there will be a lot of women
receipts.
that will, even though they're the reason that the child hasn't seen the father,
Just
they
try
will
and make
put
it
it
out.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that, and that's not fair, because there are men out there. I've got a lot of friends that are desperate to see their children, and the mums are making it very, very hard for them.
Because you're not with them.
Yeah,
It's not
or
working.
not just that. Maybe it's, shit happens, but ultimately it's not fair if that child grows up thinking that your dad's an idiot, your dad didn't want to know, So make sure you've got your receipts, because I understand that there are sometimes men have to say, you know what, I can't handle it, because it can mess with a man's brain as well. I can't handle it, I'm fighting, I'm doing what I can, I'm not winning, I have to just leave it. But they're not just leaving their child, they're just leaving the turmoil that situation's bringing. So make sure you get your receipts.
I've always been keeping my receipts anyway for other purposes. But anyway, anyway, like I've been sitting while Emmanuel was talking. I'm sitting there thinking about how you switched it. Like if the person didn't have money, and to be honest, I can't think of any other thing other than what Emmanuel said, like legal aid. Because in this world, you can't do anything if you don't have money. To be honest, like no matter everyone you try and think around it, you actually can't.
Or if you don't know your source.
Yeah.
Because there are plenty of sources out there.
But they're
You know,
not
you just have
publicised.
That's the thing.
Because this is what I used to talk about before. For fathers, there isn't options like that. When you don't have antenatal meetings. You know what's that word? That one. You know when you're having a child.
Yeah, the classes.
Yeah, and then you have
That
those.
you guys are invited to too. It's not mother's antenatal.
Yeah,
it's
but
parents'
then
antenatal.
no, but then what's the dad there? They're sitting there while they give you bare options and classes and stuff like that. 'Cause with my first son and my daughter, I went to those. Yeah, so he's like, well, I'm sitting there and she's like, oh yeah, there's like one father class every 2 weeks where they talk about things for fathers, and I'm just like, one. My girl's got a list of things and options, and in that thing, like legal aid, you go to legal aid, they're just gonna say it exactly how you said it. You have two options. You can either wait it out, or we could do mediation, and if that doesn't work, we go to court. What other options is there for us? You guys have got counselling, you've got mother classes, mother meetings.
Too, though. Guys can as well.
Ego. A man's not gonna wanna get, if he's feeling like he's being played down, like he's not being, his role as a father hasn't been like, oh yeah, I'm the dad, I deserve to be there for my child. Yeah. Yeah, I can. What? Everyone's kind of.
Everyone's listening to you.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Because everyone looked at Emmanuel, I was thinking, what did he say?
No, I'm staring. I didn't know they were. I'm just staring at the wall. I didn't know they were looking at me.
Yeah, so
She's staring
like,
at
obviously. Sorry, I didn't even get a trim. I would have outglowed you, bro. I'm sorry. Anyways,
man, we do bare press ups and stuff, innit?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a sit up guy. I'm not really a press up. Nah, man.
Yeah.
Sit up.
I'm a pounded yam.
A pounded jam.
Yeah.
That's just so random.
For the people, the fathers that are inconsistent and not there, like providing all the time, or
Ever. Sorry.
yeah, or are you talking about a father that, like we were talking about earlier, that provides but picks and chooses when he provides? What one are you aiming that CSA at? Someone that doesn't provide at all, yeah, and keeps the clothes at home, and what you lot were saying earlier, or somebody, yeah. Oh shit! Now I'm getting myself confused.
CSA, CSA is for if you have the money there and the child could be better off if you provided some of that money. Then
My thing is, I'll be honest, like, mine's a little bit different. I'm just principle based.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Like, is it more on the income or is it more on the principles?
You've got money or not? Because that's the reality. I don't care. Even if you get £10, if that £2 goes towards your child, then so be it. That's it. So for me, anyway, I'll say I'm principle based on the CSA.
On CSA, yeah.
So.
What's your one on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. CSA, like, you should put toward. It's like people go to church to this. I'm not religious like that. So people go to church and they pay like 20% of their income to something that could or could not be real.
Mm-hmm.
Your child is real.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
definitely
put money into your child.
into
like
the future.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on CSA?
Personally, fuck CSA. I don't like CSA personally.
Yeah.
But in terms of the discussion,
Can I ask you something? You don't like CSA,
yeah,
but do you like paying for your child outside of CSA?
yeah.
So then that's fine. Okay, cool. Just so I can
Yeah.
clear up my feelings towards you.
No, because I don't. Anyway, that's because I can just go left with the CSA. But in terms of the discussion that we had just now, one aspect, father's not providing, the father's doing a bullshit job. I agree with CSA. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then if he is providing and if he is doing his job, there's no need to involve CSA because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
It's not true. I shouldn't have to pick up on where you're struggling. I'm really doing my part. I agree with CSA again for those donnies that stunt and go on like they've got Guala but don't provide for their kids. CSA definitely phone them up and let them know. But as I said, you can still evade it. For the ones that are struggling, still trying to find themselves, I disagree. So I'm a bit both, but overall I just feel like every parent should come to mediation. That's the best one out of all of them. I think mediation is the best option. You sit down, you talk out your problems, you try to come to an agreement and try and work from there on. It's just like building your child's life. You've got to build together and help that child be brought up the right way, right or wrong.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you're watching and you feel the same,
Let us know.
let us know.
Comment.
Yeah? You know this. What would they have to do?
Comment, like, subscribe, share.
And what was that? I didn't really get it.
Comment, like, subscribe.
She said comment, like. Were you only telling the person next to you? It's like, comment, like,
Subscribe, share.
subscribe. Yeah, that's that bottom down there, yeah? I'm the one with the enthusiasm. I want you to share, subscribe, and like, yeah? And on the socials, you'll see everyone's socials down there to see what they get up on, yeah? I mean, get up on, get up to, yeah? Don't watch that, yeah? What they could get up to, yeah?
See their search history or something, like.
I said get up on, I don't know where that came from, yeah? So yeah, you was watching the ParentCast, as we said. If you think there's any topics that you would like us to talk about, any guests that you think we should have on the show, just leave a comment or contact us on our socials. They'll be underneath in the description. I'd like to say a big thank you to my brother,
Emmanuel,
my sister,
TD.
and my other sister.
E minor.
Big up yourself. This is the ParentCast, Father G.
Another thing.